Hi there, episode 2 of Bed Talks. Today I was struck by just the feeling of resistance and understanding what that was about. So I thought I'd share that today. I've often been told when I'm reading up on, inspiring books or motivational articles about how resistance is something we feel about like right when we're about to push through to success. Like we resist the things that are good for us and that make us feel good. We procrastinate, we delay, we resist doing things that we know we have to that are important. And I don't know why, but I was thinking about that today because there's two things that I know are good for me that I want to like that I try to embed into my routines, but it's like sometimes it's a struggle, and that's yoga and writing. And so today I realized that I was like, hey, I'm doing freaking yoga. And so about 40 minutes into it, I was in some position and I thought, man, this feels peaceful, this feels good, and I had the feeling that I know I get whenever I commit to a practice. But why do I resist actually making that a priority in my day? I don't know. I don't know why, but I know when I get there, it feels good. So I try to hold on to that feeling so that tomorrow, I just sort of make myself do it instead of getting distracted by all the other to-dos that are on my list. But also, too, the thing with writing, I'm a writer when I can be, and, trying to have a daily writing practice, sometimes it's hard. Like sometimes I want the coffee or the breakfast or, I want to go for something else other than writing, and if I want to write, I try to hit 1,000 words or 3 pages. Well, what am I going to write about? What am I going to say? Am I just going to talk about my dreams the night before? What is it that I'm going to write about? And I resist wanting to do something that I know is a good practice for the way I tend to prefer to communicate, which is by writing newsletters or emails or whatever. But also like writing for an extended amount of time, you go deeper into yourself, you go deeper into your thoughts. And I think for a lot of people, myself included, going deeper into our thoughts is it's uncomfortable. It can be scary. It can be like, I don't want to talk about this emotion, I don't want to feel this. But there's a healing in that. That's the reason why journaling is so important, by keeping gratitude journals or sad journals or just a daily journal where you can reflect, process, get in touch with things. And it takes a while to get there. Sometimes the first paragraph we don't exactly write about things important to us, but we get there. So today I was like, okay, writing practice, and I didn't intend at all to write about this, but today happens to be April 8th, and 2 years ago I lost my stepdad quite suddenly. And even though today is not the anniversary of his death, today is the anniversary of the last conversation we ever had. And as I was writing today, I was like writing about the day, and I was thinking about him, and then I thought, oh yeah, today is the last day he ever smiled at me, and I remember because I was at my parents' house and he had to go for surgery, and so he was very nervous and he was impatient for us to get going. And I remember he was at the wheel of the car, and he had a baseball hat on, and the car engine was running, and he was waiting for my mom and I to get our crap together and jump in, and he was just so tense. And I remember like putting my bags in the trunk, and then it was about a 2-hour drive to the airport, and I had a flight later. So I remember putting my bags in the trunk and then just watching him be so tense with his hands on the wheel, looking straight down the driveway. And I just popped in the front seat, gave him a kiss on the cheek, and he side-eyed looked at me and smiled. And then I climbed into the back seat, and then my mom jumped in after me. We didn't know then, but that was the last time I ever got a smile from him, a conversation with him. In the following days, everything kind of went downhill unexpectedly. But reliving that moment and remembering like, oh yeah, today is a nice anniversary. I mean, it's sad, but there is comfort in remembering that. And if I had resisted writing, if I'd resisted like making myself be disciplined into this writing practice, I wouldn't have explored those feelings. They're sad, they're hard, even now, of course now, but like pushing through this resistance twice today through my yoga practice made me feel good, and through writing made me have a beautiful moment of memory there. So And resistance doesn't always have to be about yoga or writing, but whatever it is that is kind of, you'll do something later, you're stopping yourself from doing, go anyway. Try to go a little deeper, a little longer. Like, try to overcome this resistance, because there's good things on the other side.